What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Core Conversations for a Tuesday. It is a Freestyle Tuesday. Got lots of notes, lots of stuff to talk about. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to get this going shortly. Right here, Core Conversations. Hey, Shannon. YouTube. The personal victory. Hey, Steve. Good day. Stephen Greenwood, good to see you. I think you're a Pilates instructor too, no, Stephen? Thanks for joining us. Where is everybody located, just out of curiosity? George, thanks for joining us. Just gonna do a couple housekeeping things here. Vaughan, Perth, Australia. Wow, that's far. Awesome. So, Stephen, you're up late then. Thanks for joining us. What's going on in Australia? Lots going on there. And Vaughan, George, what do you do? I'd love to hear from you two what you guys are up to. And Stephen, Seeds for Greatness, what's going on? SC Body Mechanics. Good morning. Today, I want to talk about pain management, and as I put out the top, living with, living in, and living through pain. 3 p.m. Okay. Oh, that's right, because you are in Brazil, no, Cecilia? I can't remember. I just love how diverse and broad our audience is. I was talking to someone yesterday about that, and like they're amazed to say that, you know, I presented in Brazil last year, or that, you know, a friend of mine from nice, Lisbon. That's next Barcelona, Spain, all those places, Europe. On a side note, for those who don't know, I'm running for city council here in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Putting everything I can into this and just like sacrificing and not showing up for things, saying no to a bunch of stuff, didn't do Can't Fit Pro, haven't presented in a while. All those sacrifices for the win. If I'm not successful there, it is still a win because of the connections I've made with all of you here. Best believe I'm gonna be traveling with my friend Misty, of course with my wife, and with our people, and just checking out all these spots that we've been talking about and talking to for the last 2 years. I even had a memory pop up of the Core Connections. We did these offshoot shows 2 years ago where I had 2, 3, 4 people in the chat, and we did like a live conversation with multiple people before Instagram allowed more than one person in the chat. So we went offline and used StreamYard and did these conversations and connected. So we've been building relationships and building connections with people for over 2 years now. And all this is just yielding some amazing fruit, and just hearing the conversations that we're having and how people are helping one another, collaborating and growing their businesses together. All that stuff is so good. So I'm loving it. So once again, thank you all for being here. Before I get going, If you have any online classes, workshops, workouts, anything along those lines that are coming up, please put it in the chat. I'd love to hear from you so we can cheer you on. And yeah, that's very key. So I'd love to hear about that. What do you got going on? Hi, Larissa. Yes, so for example, I have an online class at 1:30 today. If any of you would like to join me, or if you or any people that you work with want to join me for an online class, please message me after and I'll send you the link. No charge. I'd love to have you in. And I always say that it's great to have your clients be exposed to other teachers, other teaching styles. They pick up things to help people move in different ways. And it's really, really great when you're not self-conscious about losing your clients to someone else. Let me know if you have anything going on. I can point my people to as well. And this is how we all get better. This is how our groups get better. This is how our people kind of break through and find that freedom of movement in different ways. So quick question. For those of you in the chat, quick show of hands. How many of you work with pain management? People with chronic pain, things along those lines. Just a quick show of hands if that's you. If you work or specialize with embracing chronic pain management type things. That's not my area, and that's why I want to spend some time talking about it today. I have a colleague that I want to see if they're free to join us. Yes. So the question, for those of you who just joined us in the chat, hi there, Debbie Robbins. We're talking about embracing pain. The question I have for you is, how many of you work with a population where you are working with people that have chronic pain? Christopher Childs, what's going on? Chronic pain. I was talking with Renee yesterday, Healthy by You, who has her business is, and she used the term wellness mentor. And I thought, full disclosure, when she said wellness mentor, I thought that she was working with like coaching people, like A-type personality executives who have in their corner this kind of bougie wellness mentor person who just stretches them and tells them what to do and helps them stay in the best shape of their life, sort of thing. And by contrast, it was actually helping people manage their pain, women specifically with chronic pain, and helping them to figure out how it is that they can navigate the day-to-day life with this pain. She does Pilates classes, she does group classes, she does privates. Hi, Julie, how are you? And so it turned into a fantastic conversation about managing pain and about helping people find hope. Beautiful, finding hope through movements. Picture with me the person who comes in who has had pain since they were a teenager, and they come to you with a presenting problem, back pain, whatever it is, and they have lived with pain so long that they don't even mention the pain that they live with because they're with you for something else. And then you start to work with them, and the power of Pilates is you can take them through a standard series of exercises, and they start to feel things that they didn't know were even uncomfortable. They start to feel muscles they didn't know they had. They start to feel mobility in places that they didn't know was tight. And all of a sudden, you come to a place like Renee did yesterday, on the verge of tears, sharing it, where she's saying that one lady was like, I have not felt my body without pain since I was 15 years old. And she was almost on the verge of tears, just sharing the story out of joy for this lady. People come to us with one issue, and they're discovering freedom and mobility and pain-free living when it wasn't even what they came with. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever worked with someone where they came to you with one thing and then you solved a bunch of other problems for them with your work? And you can't even take credit for it? Like, it's just the work doing the work, and these people being eager enough to explore movement with you. Have you ever been there? This is what I want to talk about today. And while we're talking about this, I'm just waiting. There's obviously a lag between the time I talk and the time people respond. So while we're talking about this, I'm waiting for your response. If you want to join me on the screen, you are more than welcome to do so. You can just hit that request to join and I'll invite you on. You may not want to type all this stuff out. And I have people like Debbie Robbins who have been like, and Stefan as well, who are like my resident people who just jump on whatever. You're more than welcome to join me again. Julia, I see you. I see others in the chat. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to chat with you once if you've never come on. And just share your story. Share just working with people who live with chronic pain and what has their experience of Pilates been, or whatever movement modality you do. What has your experience been with that and how have you helped them? Lotus Pilates, how are you? Sees for Greatness says, all good, let's talk about pain. This is going to sound like a really superficial comment, and I apologize if this offends anyone. I feel like when we're talking about pain, I take it for granted the fact that I live pain-free. And when I was doing a lot of personal training, there are people come in, and I have friends who really specialize in working with people who are very overweight, who are trying to lose weight, who have gone on medication to cause them to lose weight and all those different things. And as much as I can empathize with them, never being really heavy overweight due to medication or lifestyle or whatever it is, or there's so many different reasons why someone gets to this place, I haven't experienced that, and therefore I don't have the same level of empathy as someone else who has lived it. It's not to say I can't work with them, and I have in the past, but it's the same with pain. I've had acute injuries from sports, but never had chronic pain and had to navigate that. So I'm learning so much through these conversations. I learned so much from my clients that I've had who are working through those things that I had that are, it's you do one exercise and then that's it for the day. Or you do like 10 exercises and they feel awesome, and then the next day they're like, yeah, I was out for a week because of that. That's a different conversation. I learned so much from that. I hope that we're all trying to sharpen our tools and learn from those different areas. So even as we're talking about this, I see for Greatness is going to come on and join us in the chat. If you want to join us, please just send me a message, request to join, and I will invite you in. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, good morning.
Good morning. So got no crashing waves in the background, no beach.
Yeah, not today.
And
maybe next week.
yeah, it's all good. It's you can do that all summer, man. I just get salty when it's like dead of winter and you have a beach in the background. So
I hear you.
yeah. It's all good. Yeah, I've just been reflecting on this pain topic. I've had some great guests on the past talking about embracing pain. Amanda Grab, I'm hoping that she shows up
Okay.
and is really inspired me and really informed the conversation in different ways. So yeah.
Yeah, you know what? This is a topic, even though I'm not a Pilates instructor, I feel very comfortable talking about it only because I know how I deal with my pain, both when it comes to training and then if it's like emotional stuff that I got going. Sometimes they fuse together, and I gotta take
Yes.
a step back and see like why my body's so tense. You know, because it will affect my workouts, my movements, and I try to be very sensitive um, when I'm training and I'm not getting those results because of stiff movements and that sort of thing. And a lot of it comes back to what's going on in my head, how I'm processing things, how I'm breathing. I noticed
Yes.
that my breathing is instead of,
Hmm.
especially with like when I do my boxing training or my distance runs, that's where the breath has to really be like a nice, smooth flow rhythm.
Yes.
And another thing I try to do is and I used to be really good about it years ago, is literally warm up to be ready instead of just jumping into a workout.
Yes.
Like taking 15 minutes, 20 minutes,
Hmm.
stretch, get your mind in sync with what your body's going to do.
Yes.
I think most people are so busy these days,
Hmm.
they don't do that practice. Like, no one warms up anymore. They just get in,
Right.
go on to the next thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's Kara, Sonia, and Olivia just jumped in the chat. So welcome to you three. And just as we're talking here, the title is "Live In, With, or Through," because I'm talking about a conversation, a springboard off a conversation about chronic pain, and talking with a client yesterday that was sharing stories of working with women with chronic pain and just the joy that she feels when they discover. I used the term freedom of movement yesterday, which she just loved, and I think she's going to make it a T-shirt because it really resonated with her. And so, for you, Kara, Sonia, or Olivia, do you work with any clients who have like chronic pain? Like, Steph and I, both of us as athletes, we've had pain, we've had acute pain, all those different things, and it's a next level when you have chronic pain. Like you wake up, like when I'm talking about people who have had pain for years, years, no
Yeah.
respite, years. Like it's just, I can't even fathom that level of, walk. Like I've had some of my clients here, and I was sharing a story before you came on. One of the ladies that I work with, where we could have days where she feels great, and we just do gentle movement
Mm-hmm.
and call it a day, and she feels awesome and she feels great. She goes for a walk, she does all kinds of stuff, and she messages me and tells me how amazing she felt. And
Yeah.
then this is the thing that messes me up, because then there'll be another day when she's doing good, exercise looks good, so I give her another layer to that exercise, and we get through a bunch of stuff, and at the end of the workout she feels awesome. She's like, thank you so much, that felt good. And then she
Good.
messages me and she's like, I couldn't move. Like 3 weeks later, like, I couldn't move for 3 weeks after that workout. It felt good in the moment, but it just triggered all these things that I could. So there's a different level when you're living with pain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I really think it's it's simple actually. When you're living with chronic pain and it's really to the point where it's just agonizing, um, for some people, they don't need like to get to that point. Just the pain itself going on for a certain amount of time, they're like, I cannot do this. Same thing
Yeah.
like if you're having issues in life, you're like
Sorry,
you
I'm going to invite Kara in too. I don't know if she can or she'll decline if she
oh
can't, but I'll just bring her just mid sentence there. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
yeah, oh, not a problem, not absolutely, yeah.
She's made a good comment there.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, when you get to the point and you're like, man, this has got to change, and I'm talking more, I guess, personal. This has got to change. I don't know how I'm going to fix it, but I got to fix it because I cannot go on another day, going this way. So I got to figure out something to start making this thing better.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be like
Hey,
some resolution. Hey, Tara,
yes.
how you doing?
Yes.
So I don't know
Well,
if, you know, people have that mindset either. Like, don't, it's like, don't settle, okay? Don't settle for a mediocre life. Don't settle for your body not being at its greatest ability to be healthy. Don't settle. Do not.
right. So that's fine. I'm playing advocate for a second because that's great rhetoric
Uh-huh.
until you're trying your best and you're still in this depth of pain. And
Okay.
that's why I put the title live in, live with, or live through pain. What do you do when you're living in this place of pain? What do you do when you're living with
I'm
this pain?
speaking.
How do you live through
Yes.
this pain? So I'm
I'm,
gonna throw that out to Kara and
okay,
just some of the
Kara. Yeah.
people you've experienced with and like how's that
Yeah.
been for you?
So you were asking if I work with any clients who have chronic pain. And
Mhm.
one of my very first clients actually was diagnosed with fibromyalgia when she was 17. When I started working with her, she was in her 30s and had 2 kids. And she lived with just debilitating pain in her knees in particular, some in her hips. And with fibromyalgia, like there are trigger points on the body almost. So I had to really learn how important touch was in working with,
Okay.
right? That
Mhm.
I needed to avoid touching certain areas because that could trigger pain that she would experience afterwards. And there would be
Yes.
those days I would show up at her house and you could just see the pain on her face.
Hmm.
The whole plan changes because right now you're in it. You're totally triggered by it. All of it is feeling. So we slow things right down. We get down on the ground, right? And that's where we're working from. And there'd be other days I'd show up and her eyes are clear and she's like, I'm ready to go. And I had to learn how to scale myself back in a way to
That's the
also
part.
scale
Oh,
her
there
back,
she is.
right? To
Yeah.
also to say, okay, you're feeling good today, so let's try adding this one thing in. Because
Yes.
when I didn't do that, and I'd say like, okay, you're feeling good, so let's get in everything that we can. You know, that young
That's
trinity of like, let's
I probably did that last week, yes, but go on.
and, and then she would be, and then she would be in pain for days afterwards. Um,
Yes.
because we didn't realize that there is in the moment when all of those good endorphins are flowing through and rushing,
Hmm.
she was feeling great, but we didn't
Yes.
realize we were overstimulating her. We
Yes.
were overstimulating certain muscles, and then those were hitting those trigger points for her. And then and she's a mom. She's got to be able to
She's got to go. Yeah.
toddler. She's got to pick up her little kid. She's got to get down to the ground, pick up toys, and make dinner. All of that. And we always say as trainers, whatever industry we're in, we want to avoid injury of our clients. We want to help them move better and feel better. And so I think for me, part of the thing is thinking outside of just this 1 hour or 45 minutes that I'm with them. And
Hmm.
sure, especially when someone lives with chronic illness or chronic pain, that
Yes.
they are going to leave our session and continue to feel good. And so it
Yes.
means
On
really
that
getting
trajectory
slow.
towards. Yeah, and now embracing pain one day at a time. My friend Amanda is in the room, and I'd
Mm.
love for her to join us in the chat too, because she was one who really triggered initially this conversation. So, like her perspective, Amanda, if you're good to go and want to join us on the screen, I know it's totally impromptu. I'm going to invite you on. You could just decline if you're not feeling it today, but um, yeah, like all you said there, like we get so overzealous at times, right? Like you feel good, let's go, and it's like, but that even that let go is so easy. Hi, my
Hey,
friend.
I literally just woke up, so I had to
Hey.
sleep in. Bad pain night, but I'm here. So long, I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, I've been following you on Facebook. So, Amanda, can you do a quick intro on who you are and what you do? I think you're doing such great work supporting your community and stuff. So, I'll just give you like the floor for a second, and we'll talk about what we're talking about today.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a chronic illness, pain, and trauma coach. And I am a chronic illness, pain, and trauma person myself. I've been on my journey for 16 years, and I have the pleasure now to help other people. And body movement is something I'm a huge advocate for. Actually, I was going to reach out to you, Martin. I'm wanting to get body movement going in our fellow warrior community on a regular basis. And I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I was listening earlier. You were talking about a client, obviously, who has some sort of pain, whether it be chronic or acute.
Fibromyalgia, and yeah, as you can imagine, quite acute pain.
Yes, and I have fibromyalgia myself, along with 7 other illnesses. So I know how tough it is. And like yesterday, I was able to move my body. I did yoga and stretching, and this morning, I'm really feeling it. So it's kind of like it's just going to be a light stretch day, but still have to, prioritize that. Otherwise, we set ourselves back too far if we completely stop. I don't know if you found that with your client yet, because that's something that a lot of my clients have is they try to get back into body movement, and then they have that initial flare up because of it, and then that scares them. Of course it does, right? Like It would. It's scary. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I can't do that again. It's going to put me in bed for a week. And it's just like, then, obviously you're not working with someone who, can really help you listen and be attuned to your body and know when to give and when to slow down. So, yeah, I think it's great that you guys do what you do.
I had to remind myself of this lesson in my own training yesterday. So
yes,
early in July, I fell on my back really badly and quite injured myself, where I was unable to even reach down to put on my, right? Like my pain, like my ability was just so restricted and my back was in so much pain. But I'm getting a lot better. In the last couple of days, I've been feeling great. That I went to do my workout yesterday, and I had to remind myself, no explosive movements, nothing don't take it, just trust the plan, trust the progress, So it's so easy to take those days when you're feeling good and do
that.
And I did that, I think, 2 weeks ago. And it was that I was teaching a class, I was working with, I did my own workout, and then I got this just did. And the way my chiro described it to me, he's like, it just was a fear response.
yes.
I started thinking about what you said around, you get scared, and the body does too. And it just had this response of like, I hurt, I'm scared, and I'm going to send you all these pain signals to let you know I'm not okay. Right?
Yes.
And when I was able to release some of that, go back to gentle exercise, gentle movement, and get the strength work that I needed. Okay, now get back to the plan.
Yeah.
There's a great word picture that someone gave me. Like, if you think about, like, Stefan, imagine you're just walking to your bed. You're in your bedroom and you walk, from the bathroom to your bed, and you're fine. You walk free, whatever it is. If you cut the lights out, it changes your gait. It changes the way that you move, because there's a possibility that you're going to stub your toe, you're going to bump into something. Everything in your body changes because you're now more cautious in the way you move, just because you lost that sensory feedback from your eyes. And I think that's kind of like how it is with pain sometimes with certain things.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you guys are educating me. I'm just listening now. Yes, thank you.
So and Amanda, it's just amazing to hear you talk with such confidence. Like, like when we had our first live, guys, you were very comfortable, but like you're just kind of throwing stuff out there. Like, I'm not sure if this is going to resonate with anybody. I'm not sure if this is going to connect. And now you're like, no, this is it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How,
I know, it's great. And obviously, like, I am, I do believe in God, so there's that, like, I have to give him all the glory. But definitely it's been crazy the last couple of months in my business. Like, I literally am going to have to get a wait list going, which is so hard because I want to help everybody. But yeah, it's definitely. And I launched my podcast at the end of
Great.
March, and it's been going great. I have clients rolling in like crazy from that thing. So
Amazing.
yeah, I love what I do. It's amazing, and there's not enough of us out there. So I think your story with your injury, like, use that, right? Like, that's,
Yeah,
it's a lesson.
those are great posts.
And no, I mean, with the back injury, what's your name? I'm so sorry.
Kara.
Kara. Yeah, like, even having experience with those limitations, even if it was for a short time, or pain, like, that gives you an insight, right? That is invaluable.
I'm sorry, your name again?
Amanda.
Yes, I think it makes you more relatable to people.
Yes.
To say, okay, I've been there, and to know that you need to know when you can push and when you can't, and to be able to say, okay, when you tell me that this isn't feeling right, or some things, or you can see a little something in the eyes, I need to pay attention to that.
Oh yes, I know. That's another big one too. Is even my clients will say, Amanda, you're saying you're okay, but I can tell you're in a lot of pain. And I'm like, oh, you got me. You know, like, we just know. So yeah, and if you haven't had that experience, it's harder to see those little things. But I think as a trainer and body movement specialist, right, like, it's so good to have those types of ins, because then you have this, you know, capability of helping so many other people that otherwise wouldn't be able to feel safe or be comfortable doing the movement that is so needed for them to make wellness with illness and pain possible, right?
I always tell my clients, you know, there's always a different exercise we can do. There's always a different movement. And not, you know, the amount of times people apologize for not being able to do something, you know, and I find myself, I'm sure you do as well, you don't need to apologize. Like, it's my job to help you find the movement that feels right for your body. And we're going to work on that together. So what I wrote, it's just an idea. What I wrote on the board is just an idea. If we need to change it, that's okay. I know that for this one movement, there are 10, 15, 20 other things that we can do. And you know, to me, I really see that as my role and as part of this journey.
Well, and Kara too, I mean, this is the thing, I'm sure, I appreciate your transparency with that journey too, because it'd be so easy to just go dark for a few weeks until you're fine again.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the
injury.
Right. Yeah. It returns your injury. Exactly. I mean, like, it's so easy to just, like, let me just do a couple of food pictures and some family pictures and then come back to when I could do burpees again. Right. Like, we can do that too, but then that's not really being authentic with our journey. And that's helps us to connect with our people. Right. So.
Yeah. And I find too that they want to see us and our journey, right? Like, they're there to know that we are that one step or two steps, you know, ahead of them, so that they can trust that we're leading them to what they truly want or need in their life. And so you have to be that raw, authentic person. And sometimes it means being really vulnerable. And that's something I've really had to embrace this past couple months in my own business and my life. And it hasn't been easy, but I find it's super, like, it just helps a lot.
Yes.
I got a question for Amanda. So I'm looking at your website. And what kind of clients are you attracting, and what kind of cases are they bringing to you?
What kind of issues are, like, pain points?
Yeah. What kind of issues are they bringing to you? Say, hey, can you help me out with?
Yeah. So all of my clients are typically people with at least one, if not multiple, chronic illnesses, or they live with chronic pain, or they have severe past trauma that they want to work through. And pain points, there's a lot of them. Most of my clients, when they come to me, are looking for just a glimmer of hope to keep going. They're just completely lost and hopeless in their journey. They've lost faith in the medical system, and they don't have really any guidance on how to actually live a life with these conditions. Because guess what? Some of these conditions, they hang around. There is no pill, there's no medication. There, you know, you can do things to kind of aid and treat them or band-aid them, but like getting to the root cause of some of these, especially when you have multiple of them, is very difficult in our Western medication society, right? So I come in the holistic approach, And we look at, you know, not just the pharmaceutical end of things, but where's the psychological end of things? Where are we physically? Where are we emotionally, spiritually, and all those kinds of things? So, I mean, yeah, they come with a lot of, all that comes with just being hopeless, with pain every day, and not having an answer, and just coming to someone who they think, you know, and understands, goes through it and sees it every day through my stories and my podcast, that I live it out. And they're like, how do you do that? How are you a mother of two? How do you have a good marriage and, you know, run a household and now a business and do all the things you do, right? Because they want that for their life.
Yes.
You know, when I was a first responder, we would get multiple calls from repeated people or patients. They call us, then they're patient, and it could be for like drug abuse. It could be for like you know, maybe like someone can't sleep, or someone's feeling suicidal, right?
Yeah.
Or homicidal. And in some of these cases, we have meds we can give them for certain things, but then I found that some of the folks who were repeated callers, like frequent callers, what they really needed was someone to connect with them. And so I can remember distinctly just me and my partner praying for 2 or 3 patients that were frequent callers. And by the time we got to the hospital, they didn't even want to go into the hospital. They felt, you know, someone touched their soul, and that's what they were craving. Even alcoholic, you know, addiction, or, you know, this chronic pain that they, you know, would get pain meds for, but then they would do something to aggravate it again. And so it really, it's interesting how so much of how people think about themselves and the things they do are related to how their body is going to react. So I've seen it firsthand what stress does to someone, and PTSD does to someone. That's going to affect someone's health.
Oh yeah. And that's something I see all the time is trauma, especially childhood trauma. There's a direct link, like completely. And there's one, and I will admit, there is at one point in time in my journey where I would get very offended, like just saying, very offended when someone would be like, you know, your illnesses are because of your trauma or your undealt trauma, right? Like when they would say something like that, that would really upset me because I felt like that was invalidating my real pain, my real symptoms and diagnosis. But I learned along the way that it doesn't invalidate them. It can still be true, and you can still have real illnesses and real pain. But once
it can inform it, though.
Exactly. Yes. And once you accept that, that's when the world of possibility really happens, and healing and recovery can be possible within that illness and pain. It might not go away completely, but it can definitely get better. Right. And so that's kind of where I'm at and where I kind of lie and because that's where my life is right now. It just, I believe there's one day I could get healed completely. Right. But I'm not there yet. So I'm working within my journey and what, you know, I've learned and all that kind of stuff. But yes, trauma and illness and pain definitely have an interlink for sure.
Yeah. That's just that ties back to the title once again, what Kara was living through pain, and you're living with pain.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Kara? Do you find, what kind of people are attracted to your business?
Oh gosh, I feel like Martin, we had a whole conversation about this a couple months back, didn't we?
Yes, love it.
Oh gosh, I could get
I'm such a big Kara fan. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that out before she goes.
Yeah, no, a lot of times the folks who are, because I'm in a small studio, just me here, a lot of the folks who are attracted to coming and working out here, folks who feel intimidated to go into the large gyms, the big box gyms, people are looking for a more individualized experience. more personalized experience. And as Martin said, like I really wear my heart in my sleeve on my social media. I'm really honest about who I am, my approach. So it's people who feel connected to that, who are looking for someone who's not going to have them do a bunch of burpees. We're team no burpees over here, or what we call slow burpees. If we do them, people who are interested about learning more about strength training, but in a way that feels like it's going to be approachable. I think and people who've had injuries and they want a plan and someone to guide them through. Those tend to be a lot of the folks who find their way to me.
Sorry, Martin. I'm going to take over your show real quick because I got some.
Yeah, man. Go. Go on with it.
What cities are you guys located in?
So I'm in Toronto.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm in Burlington, so just outside of Toronto.
Ontario content. That's what's up.
I actually looked up Mississauga. Is that my saying right?
Mississauga. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm loving Toronto, first of all, because there's several people who have been buying Sea for Greatness apparel.
Great.
So, real affection and love for where you.
I'm gonna need to get some of my own apparel. It sounds like.
Yeah. Yes. I can help you with. We can get that going soon. Yes, we'll have to DM each other.
Absolutely.
Please DM, and I will make that happen.
I love it.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm all the way down in San Diego, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a couple warriors down near there.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, my clients are all over the place.
Interesting. I'm organizing a 5K event on October 16th.
Wow.
Please tell your people if they're interested at all to contact me.
Or they know people who can. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make sure all their fees are waived. We're gonna have a whole day event. It's gonna be at Belmont Park. They're gonna have some event stuff. It's gonna be a beautiful day.
Awesome.
I will make sure their fees get paid.
Is it a run, walk, bike? What's the 5K event?
So it's a 5K run, walk, and we have an all wheels event that involves skateboards, rollerblades. What are the strollers? If moms come out.
Okay, yeah.
Anything has wheels with no motors.
Okay, so like walkers would be okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're encouraging everybody, because it's really a event about bringing people together. It's right near the beach where sometimes I do the live with Martin, and
Amazing.
I love it.
That's great.
Sounds amazing.
And,
Man, you guys everyone's doing such good work out there. I love it.
What have you been up to, Martin? I hadn't talked to you in a while.
Oh man, I am. Well, my focus is squarely on running for my city council right now.
Yeah, that's where I left you. Okay, so that's still happening. Okay.
That's still happening. The Pilates thing is going great, and that's the thing. I think I've shared this with Kara too. Like when you're moving into something new and you're so excited about it, you see how your old thing is also growing well. You feel like you're grieving the change that's going to happen in one chapter while you're embracing the new chapter that's coming.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right. So and I was saying that before we came on air, like everything's a win, right? So if I win, that's a great new chapter. If I'm not successful there, this chapter continues to grow. Like everything is a win. So I'm just loving this stage of life I'm in. Like everything is so good. And even to come on to core conversations with no plan other than a few notes, and then to have these rock stars on the screen with me is like, it's so good. Life is good.
I'm so glad.
Mm-hmm.
how do you balance family and work and all that you got going?
I just cry and sit in the corner and no, just kidding. Man,
A little truth there, I think. A little.
There's a bit of truth there. I just gotta find those balances. Like our anniversary was last Monday, right? So midweek, I just like carve out some time that like this is we've
Yeah.
been married for 5 years, right? So you know, like let's take a minute and just like enjoy that, and then get back on the next day and just be calm with the plans that I set out and just trust the process instead of frantically trying to do everything all the time. It's
Oh
just
my
like
gosh,
this and then
yes.
this and then this and then this, and just trust that you know that's what I'm supposed to be doing. That I'm in the right place at the right time with every step that I'm taking.
That's how I've been able to balance things as well. Like
Yeah.
just really actually giving into and stop listening to all the noise out there. Like there's
Yes.
great people with business advice
Yep.
and they could be right. They could have the next big answer to whatever
Mhm.
you need in your business. But what I had to shut that out, and I just had to really listen to what aligned with me and my business values and my goals as a person and a business owner and a
Yes.
mother. And when I
Yes.
did that,
Bambi. Yes.
everything started to fall into place. And now I'm exactly
Absolutely.
where I wanted to be. But it was so much less stressful, if that makes sense.
Can I just share a quick story? Now last week there was a day where I had a wide open afternoon and I chose to spend some time with my boys since they were home. It's just a random day where they're not at mom, so they're hanging out with me. And they're 19 and 16, so they could be in their rooms just doing whatever. But instead we were like watching some Marvel movies, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go out and canvas, I'm not gonna do this, I'm just gonna spend time and just be with them. And then while I was just hanging out with them, I just opened up my phone, and on Twitter there's a local race that's happening in September. And so I messaged them about the race. They came back to me. I was able to talk with some other people. I can't give all the details of it, but it turned out that instead of spending 4 hours pounding pavement talking to people, I was able to coordinate being a lead sponsor for an event, and getting some other people involved with it, having my name said, all these different things. I was able to set up and get more work done by laying back and spending time with my kids than if I went out and just spent time away from them for 3 hours doing my own thing. And it's moments like that that just affirm that I'm like you just said a minute, like, just kind of trusting the process and just like, I say like strangle the should be's. Like I'm just trying to just like, I don't want to hear I should be doing this, I should be doing
Yeah.
that by looking at social
Yeah.
media and listening to, like, I'm just trying to just completely smother all of those voices that are getting in my head, tell me what I should be doing, and instead do that which I'm like the right thing for me right now.
And
So
your unique business, right? Because it's our business, it's ours. And when we're having every person out there yelling at us every day, we become paralyzed because we're just like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? Is what I'm doing wrong? Is what I'm trying not going to work? Like, but then we never get to actually try anything because we're constantly trying to do all of it. Or trying to like,
paralyzed
okay, I'll give
by
this
it.
2 weeks and see how that's going. And then, you know what I mean? So it's
Sometimes
kind of
the
awesome.
voices aren't the ones that are out there. And it's a lot of voices in our own head, right? And that's the one of like being very driven, having goals in mind that I want for my business, that I want for myself.
Yes.
Sometimes I need to quiet it down a little bit and say like, okay, like it's going to happen. That goal is going to happen. But it doesn't mean that you have to run yourself into the ground, to make it happen. Right?
Definitely.
I know that I want to have a bigger studio. So I've got that. What are the things I do to make sure that happens, right? Like finding space, making sure I've got the resources in place for that, all of those elements. And then, but at the time, my kids are 13 and 10. Very aware that like there's only so many summers we get with them before they're off to do their own things. Plays AAA baseball. I love watching him. I want to be there to watch him. My younger one who's 10, like she's a delight. I want to enjoy that until she hits those teen years when
those non-delight years.
a little less.
Well, my daughter's 9 and my son is 10, almost 11. So close.
So close. So you want to be there for their moments. The big ones, the small ones too. You want to be there while also pursuing your own goals and aspirations. And so I don't always get the balance right.
I don't think none of us do.
A lot of checking in with myself about like, the priorities and like, are you giving yourself enough time off? And I just did did a bunch of reorganizing my schedule and working with some of my clients to move them to different times to make sure that I'm getting the downtime in the evening and the weekends that I need to have, you know, because it's
Definitely.
easy when those messages come in. You want to help everybody.
Yeah,
You want
I'm so guilty of it.
oh, well, you know, do you have time like after 6:30 or on Sunday? And they're like, no. You know, you have to be able to say no. But
No, it's a powerful word.
See, what I get is, can you get on a call in 5 minutes? It's an emergency. I love my clients, and if I can, I will. But you know, I'm working with like a kind of business strategist / friend, and she was saying, you know, we need to change that, because maybe you have, 25 minutes increments at a certain time of your day where they can go and check. Does Amanda have 25 minutes right now to, have an emergency session, so that it's not like I'm like just jumping, so that if I don't have any clients in those sections, then I can still work and do other stuff. But if I do, then I can still serve them and show up for them in that capacity. So that was an interesting shift that I'm having to make too, because it was crazy.
Wow.
yeah, I was talking with
Exciting.
her today about how she's in the financial sector and she really loves her work, and she used to work for startups, found she doesn't like that. She likes to work for a big company where all of the protocols and procedures are in place. And I was like, it's so important to know where your strengths are, because our lives of running our own business can seem so ideal to folks. They're like, oh, you can make your own schedule. You can charge what you want to charge. You can, we're starting at the ground level. Like all of the protocols are built by us. And so it's so easy for us to push those boundaries and say, oh, here, sure, I say that I work until 7. Oh, you want to work out at 8? Okay, it's easy for us to push those boundaries because we're the ones establishing them.
Yeah.
We have to work really hard at talking to that voice in our head to say, like, let's be real with ourselves about our capabilities.
And see, there's a difference between capabilities and capacity. Yes. And that is something that comes up a lot with me and my clients, because we are capable, but it doesn't mean it's within our capacity. I'm saying it right?
Yeah.
No, I'm over here.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, right? So that's something I have to ask myself. I'm capable of this, but is it within my capacity to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's important.
Yeah. So good.
I've been to think like, am I helping you in the right way? Do I need to see you in person, or do I need to see you for this virtual session, or do I need to write you your own program that you do on your own at the times that work for you, so that you're not canceling on me all the time either, right?
Right.
And just working around, just being real about what are their capacities too, right? Is it is this working for you? Because it doesn't feel like it's working for you, and it's not really working for me either, but there's a way that we can bridge that.
Yes. And Kara, you're so good at that. And a lot of times us as trainers are afraid to have that kind of hard conversation.
But you know what? When I the folks that I did that with, it opened up space in my to do other things.
Conflict makes relationships richer. And a lot of times we're afraid of that conflict moment because we fear it's going to end the relationship. But you're right. Like that's a person they're going to be a lifer with you for having that one hard conversation.
Shift the relationship a little bit.
Oh, it does. It's the same way with my clients. Every month we ask, like, are we going to continue working together? Is there, anything that's not working or that you think, we could improve? And it gives them a safe space to really be honest and really give real feedback, or also say, or even sometimes if I'm doubting, like, that they're getting help, they can say, no, it's amazing. Thank you. Like, exactly what I need. And then it's like, okay, we're both still on the same page. We can continue going, But having those check-ins, I find, is so crucial. It might involve a little bit, like a couple minutes of discomfort. But then when your clients expect it from you, then it's fine. It's just like, this is a regular thing, you know, it's a safe space to share. If something isn't working for me or I'm not comfortable with something, I can say so. Yeah.
Well, we're at 57 minutes in our master class, everybody. That I hope you've been taking notes, because that capacity versus capabilities piece. Thank you. Yes,
Oh,
right,
no worries.
right. Yeah.
Cora, you said it mostly. I just had a way of putting the little title on it, so to speak, because that's been something I've been working through with myself and my clients, so it came up. Yeah.
That's the color that these conversations need.
Yeah.
That is it.
Well, I'm
so
so
many.
glad I could join. This is great.
No, I couldn't. Just real quick here. There's so many comments that I missed here, just flying through. So, Air Control Applies said, "This is a fabulous conversation. Seed for greatness." Stephanie just put capacity versus capabilities. Michael Lemby in tears. Michael, he had a great conversation with Misty and I a few weeks back. So right. Balance is impossible. It felt impossible. Like we were talking about balance earlier. KSA Fitness Toronto. That's Kara's handle for those of you who don't have it. Yes, so good, really good stuff. Man, this is
Sarah, what's your IG handle name?
It's KSA Fitness TO.
Okay.
Oh no. Oh geez. Do I even know?
yeah.
Okay.
Someone put it in the chat there, right above yours.
Why am I
there.
so terrible at social media? Yeah, it's KSA Fitness Toronto. Because I didn't realize when I named my business KSA Fitness, my full name is Kara Stewart Agostino. I didn't have in mind that KSA is also the acronym for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So when I first started posting stuff, I was getting people in like Dubai. Like,
oh no.
Yeah.
That's what you expanded your business faster than you thought.
Right?
Just way before we were doing virtual training. I was like, no, I can't.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I promise I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you, because like that would be something I would do too. Like totally.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice.
The end, so people know.
There you go. Nice. All right, Instagram is going to shut us off real quick here. So I just want to say thank you to my impromptu guest for just a masterful conversation. So rich, so just inspiring. Thank you so much, Kara, Amanda, and Stefan. You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
It's so nice to talk to you guys, truly.
That was great.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And we are out.